What is female infertility? Why does only certain women have to face this ignominy? What are the causes and symptoms? What preventive measures should be taken to avoid infertility? And what are the top homeopathic remedies? So far, we have covered answers to all such queries in our previous videos of this playlist on female infertility. Check out the link on the top right corner of the screen. Today, I am going to share a case study on female infertility. This case is published in an international homeopathic journal. I have shared link in the description, just in case you wish to check it out. So, this is about a woman of 34 years. When she approached our clinic, she stated very categorically that her only wish is to get pregnant. Next few minutes, we'll discuss about symptoms and complexities associated with the case and how we employed principles of classical homeopathy for successful treatment of her infertility. Stay tuned. Namaste. I'm Dr. Sanchita Dharmi. Before we proceed, I request you to consider subscribing to this channel. This patient is a working woman. Due to her hectic work schedule, she was not able to travel to our clinic in Gurugram. She therefore opted for online consultation. The very first appointment was scheduled in mid-January 2017. The primary investigation brought out three basic issues. Number 1, it was a case of primary infertility. Number 2, she had grade 2 endometriosis. The patient had bilateral endometrial cyst. And number 3, the patient had bilateral femoral block. Primary infertility. Primary infertility is simply not achieving pregnancy for the first time, as opposed to secondary infertility. In secondary infertility, the couple has been able to achieve pregnancy for the first time but are struggling to achieve the same for the subsequent times. Endometriosis. Endometriosis is referred to a condition when the endometrial tissues develop outside the uterus and forms cyst or tumor-like growth. In normal course, these endometrial tissues develop on the inner lining of the uterus. However, in case of endometriosis, these tissues develop outside the uterus and affect other reproductive organs. I have comprehensive coverage on endometriosis in one of my articles. Do check it out. I'll share the link in the description. Bilateral femoral blocks. Fallopian tubes are female reproductive organs that connect the ovaries and the uterus. Every month during ovulation, which occurs roughly in the middle of a menstrual cycle, the fallopian tubes carry an egg from an ovary to the uterus. If a fallopian tube is blocked, the passage for sperm to get to the eggs, as well as the path back to the uterus for the fertilized egg, is blocked. This patient got married in 2015. She was 32 at that time. When she approached our clinic, she was worried of not being able to conceive after 2 years of marriage. She was also perturbed by the fact that her age was not on her side. We started treatment procedure with the principles of classical homeopathy. To begin with, we started off with a detailed case analysis. This is important to form an overall picture of the case. It includes understanding the case history, getting basic test reports to understand hormonal activities, health of the reproductive system, or to understand presence of any comorbid situation. getting to understand the social sphere of the patient, understanding the psychological sphere, and also probing about the significant events in the past. Prior to approaching our clinic, she had already undergone one attempt of in vitro fertilization, that is IVF. This particular IVF did not give her the desired results. The patient complained of being worried and depressed for not being able to conceive. She was always feeling weakness and exhausted during her menses, due to which she was unable to carry out her daily chores. The patient also complained of having menorrhagia for 2 years. It was observed that her menses were always regular and had a very profuse flow, which usually lasted for 7 to 8 days. Her menses always had a characteristic bright red color, was membranous and with no offensive smell. She had to use 6 to 8 pads for the first 5 days before the flow decreased from the 6th day onwards, and she used to experience no pain during or after her menses. The patient also had leukorrhea for the past 2 years. Leukorrhea, in simple terms, is an abnormal white discharge through vagina. The leukorrhea she observed used to be very acrid and cast holes in her panty liners and panties. It usually occurred in mid-cycle before the commencement of menstruation and used to last for 3 to 4 days. The leukorrhea appeared to be whitish in color, egg-like and irritating. She usually experienced pain during discharge, especially at her right iliac region, and also itching in her genital during the same time. The patient also had complaints of hot flushes for the last 1 year. She had developed a ravenous appetite and was always feeling hungry. A look at the patient's past history suggested that she had suffered from episodes of painful boils immediately after her marriage. She had dysuria after 4 months of marriage, and the patient's family history indicated that she had to sustain a shock of early demise of her mother. Her mother had expired when she was just 36. Patient at that time was just 13 years of age. The cause of her mother's death was chronic renal failure. The patient's father had hypertension and schizophrenia. Her brother had history of psoriasis, and her sister had suffered from incidences of depression in her teens. These were some important clues in analyzing the overall case. The patient was also found to have an increased thirst and increased appetite. She was feeling sleepier than ever all throughout the day. Even after taking more than ample sleep, she was struggling to feel fresh. Last 1 year, she had been experiencing sudden bursts of profuse perspiration all over her body with no offensive smell or staining. In terms of the build, the patient was thin with a BMI of 16.2, a height of 153 centimeters and a weight of 38 kilograms. Lately, the patient had developed cravings for drinking cold water and cold drinks. She liked eating sweets and non-vegetarian food. She hated spicy food. She also started getting dreams of eating. Throughout the day, she used to drink 15 to 20 glasses of cold water on daily basis. The patient also experienced some mental trauma like feeling of dejection because of infertility, restlessness, absent-mindedness, tendency to cry when alone, and had a strong aversion to company. The physiological trauma of the patient was attributed to the fact that she was a victim of bullying by her peers during her childhood. Her mother's death at a young age and her dominating father. A thorough repertorization process was now employed to find the best suited remedy for the treatment of the case. We used Radar Opus, and the repertories used were Kent repertory and Murphy repertory. It was found that the patient's physical constitution favored iodium. Iodium favored her refugee-like feelings and her feeling that she wasn't loved. We started with iodium 200 in the mid of January 2017 and scheduled a follow-up cycle of 15 days to track the progress. After few weeks, some symptoms like dysuria and cystitis reappeared. During our 15-day follow-up cycle, we calibrated the potency and dosage of the medicine as per the changes in the symptoms. The detailed chart can be accessed from my case report, which is published in an international journal. The link is shared in the description. There was gradual progress, and in the month of November 2017, that is, after almost 8 months, there was complete normalcy to the patient's menstrual flow. There was no leukorrhea, no pain in right iliac region, thirst and appetite were back to normal. The patient felt hopeful and positive. There was no feeling of tiredness anymore. The following month, that is, in December, the patient reported of missing her periods. No medicine was administered. Recommended UPT after waiting of about 1 week. UPT done. After 1 week came positive, which was the good news. The patient was happy to inform about her getting pregnant. In her own words, she was over the moon. This obstetric sonography confirmed normal ovaries. In August 2018, the patient gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. So, that concludes our brief coverage on female infertility and its treatment with homeopathy. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be coming up with more such videos on health problems pertaining to women. Please leave your queries, questions or remarks in the comment box below. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe.